Hi.
What?
Welcome to the show. Coming up, an Australian couple is arrested at Animal Kingdom Lodge over a broken Hello Kitty toothbrush. Industrial Light and Magic is rumored to be working on a new boat ride for the upcoming Star Wars land. And we will tell you the top 5 trip planning threads from disboards.com for the month of December. And a little later on, we'll have our review of Minnie's Silver Screen Dine at the Hollywood and Vine restaurant at Disney's Hollywood Studios. All that coming up next. From the Bob Marley Studio in Orlando, Florida, this is the Diz Unplugged. This is the Diz Unplugged, episode 868 for the week of January 12th, 2016. The Diz Unplugged is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm going to take these off. Welcome to the show, coming to you live from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends, John Magi.
Hi, everybody.
Kevin Close.
Hello.
Jackie Gailey.
Hello.
Julie Martin.
Hi.
And back in the production nook. We just completely blew that whole
We
thing.
did. That was a great bit.
Great bit. Back in the production nook, our producer, Craig Williams.
Hi.
Along with our intern and proficient, that's not the word I was looking for, but our article writer. Prolific article writer. Thank you, Steve Porter.
Hello.
He sounds proficient too, though.
He is proficient, very and efficient, and he cranks out a lot of great articles. He's got
And he's tall.
He is, and so is Craig.
Yes, I am.
And Craig. Don't forget. I don't want Craig to feel bad about himself.
Well, you know,
Craig.
we every time we ran into, because Craig and I were in the Magic Kingdom yesterday, and we ran into a few listeners. Or viewers, actually, and the common thing was, "Oh, you're so much taller than I thought," because you always see him.
He's sitting down, people.
Sitting
Hello.
down.
Yeah, that is literally the number one comment I got. Not that like I love you, I think you're great.
You're so handsome.
You are taller than I expected you to be. I am 6'3" to 6'4", depending on what footwear I wear, and I am sitting down right now, and I slouch whenever I'm doing this. It's bad posture, but it's good me.
We get that question, too. I mean, we get that response, too, when people meet us. Craig's much taller than we thought he was.
And we've lost the East Coast.
Well, welcome to the show, everyone. Hope you are having a good week. A couple things in housekeeping. First of all, I want to remind everyone, every weekday at noon Eastern Time, you can check out the Daily Fix, wdwinfo.com/dailyfix. And that is our daily update on what's going on in the world of Disney. Give us about 3 minutes and we'll give you the world. You can also go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Well, actually, we've made some changes with YouTube that I don't think we talked about last week that
No,
we should
didn't.
probably clear up for folks. We're now utilizing 2 different YouTube channels. We have our Diz YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/wdwinfo. And that's where a lot of our what goes up there, Craig? The daily fixes are going up there.
Yeah, a lot of material that is just like daily news, stuff like that is going to be on there, and some of the overviews that we do in park stuff, a lot of that's going to be on there. And then on youtube.com/DizUnplugged, that's where you're going to find all of our shows. So every time you want to go and see a show, you're going to find it all on there. So it's all under one giant big network now. Maybe even bigger one day. We'll see if we add any other shows in the future.
Craig told me a couple months ago that he wanted to make these changes, and I'm still asking questions as to what they mean. So,
and I'm still making up answers now.
Yes, he is. He is. It's called figuring it out as you go along.
But then we also want to plug Dreams Unlimited Travel, too. And
I was going to get to that next. I was going to get to that next. It deserves its own bullet point, its own line. I don't want to clump it in with something else. So
very
thank you.
tense in
Would
here
you like to
today.
sit?
It's like
would-
Thanksgiving dinner
would
with
you
the
like?
family.
Would you like to come sit here and do this?
No clumping.
I didn't think so.
I'm good.
Do you want to make the turkey?
Yes, and as Craig mentioned, the Dreams Unlimited Travel podcast is the newest addition to our slate of shows, going up every Monday on the Dreams Unlimited Travel YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/dreamsunlimitedtravel. Mm-hmm. Okay. And what are we talking about? Well, this week it's Anthem of the Seas, the Royal
Yes.
Caribbean ship. Anthem
Yeah,
of the
today's
Seas.
show, this current week's show is our review of Anthem of the Seas. We got to do a pre-inaugural sailing. Great response. People have been very, very nice with their feedback on that. Thank you very much. And this upcoming episode, the one that will be next Monday, which will be the 18th, that's going to be part one of Kevin and my review of our river cruise on the Viking. We took a Viking river cruise in France.
The Rinda.
The Rinda. We talk a little about the itinerary. Talk a lot about the ship, and that'll be part one next week.
Yeah, if you've ever thought about doing a river cruise, that'll be a good. Because I want to check it out because I'm interested to know what that experience was like.
And if you're interested in booking a river cruise, you can write to me at kevin@dreamsunlimitedtravel.com.
And get that plug in.
Also, along with that show, sorry, don't want to interrupt too much, but the
But you
audio.
will.
The audio for that is on its own separate feed. It's not falling under Dis Unplugged. So make sure you go to the show notes page and check out where you can subscribe to the Dreams Unlimited Travel podcast. So that way it's all nice and organized and not lost in the flurry of
Now,
shows.
of course, if you don't remember any of this, very simply, disunplugged.com, you will find all of our shows, including the Disneyland edition of the Dis Unplugged, which goes up on Mondays as well. And I don't think I got a synopsis from Tom. Did you?
I didn't. Well, I did go to synopsis before the show. Their segment that they did this week was Mary Jo is continuing her day 6 travels in Southern California. I think Huntington Beach was involved
love Huntington
in
Beach.
that. I might be wrong. Off the top of my head, I think I remember that though. And then in terms of news, they talked about the final days for like Big Thunder Ranch, the fire that happened at PCH Grill, and one other thing. Can't remember. My bad.
Yeah, we are completely off our games this afternoon. It's the cold. We're freezing because it's in the 50s.
Seriously, my blood is
And
probably like negative 31 degrees.
So that's the Disneyland edition of the Dis Unplugged every Monday. Every Wednesday, The Trip with Jenny Lynn Knopp, Teresa Eccles, and Jackie Gailey. And what are you guys talking about this week?
We are talking about the Wyndham Garden Hotel that is at Lake Buena Vista, right across the street from Disney Springs Marketplace.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you have a little off-property hotel review.
Yes.
Awesome. And of course, Thursdays, 1 p.m. Live at disunplugged.com. Craig Williams, Rhino Clavin, and Jenny Lynn Knopp, the Universal edition of the Dis Unplugged. And what's this week's show going to be about, Craig?
This week, we are answering a question that has been asked at least 1 or 2 times to us. What is it like going to Universal as a solo traveler? So I'm going to be talking about it from the aspect of taking on Universal by yourself.
Okay.
Everything that entails in that.
And of course, every Friday for the month of January, Connecting with Walt with Michael Bowling and Craig Williams. A little look at the history of Disney. And what is this week's show all about?
That's a very good question. We haven't recorded it yet, so I am not fully aware of everything that it is about. I believe we are picking up where we left off on our last story. We last finished off talking about Walt Disney's death with Roy, and right as Disney World was starting to open, and I believe we are picking up right there and continuing the better stories of Roy O. Disney.
Or at least you hope.
At least I hope. If not, then beats me.
It's a surprise.
Yeah.
Friday will be a surprise. But Connecting with Walt, all about the history of Walt Disney and the Disney Company, every Friday this month. disunplugged.com. You can check it out there. What else do we have for housekeeping?
I wanted to mention big congratulations to all the folks who ran in the marathon this past week. We have a whole bunch of listeners, a whole bunch of friends who are in the marathon, and I want to specifically mention Tracy Heinrichs.
Did she run?
She did. Well, she might not say she ran specifically, but she did beat that cow catcher car that goes up behind you and like scoops you up if you're the last person. So she finished the race, and we're very proud of her.
for her.
Congratulations, Tracy.
And she's going to be happy that you referred to it as the cow catcher.
She would herself.
Kathy Whirling also did
Kathy
the.
Rowling, but Kathy's done it before, so
We don't
Yeah.
care
not
so
a big
much
deal.
about that.
Yeah, it's not a big deal anymore. Congratulations to Kathy too, and Katie. So we have a whole bunch of folks, listeners, and friends, and who ran in the race. So
I think the most
congratulations
that
to
I've
everyone.
ever known, actually, like from Facebook friends to people that we actually know, the most I've ever seen that people that I know.
Big
Yeah.
year for the race.
I might walk it now that I'm walking on a regular basis and I'm doing as much as I am. Maybe I'll give it a try. I don't know.
Do it.
There's
I'm
an
gonna say
awful
I'm
lot of
not, so-
Well,
walkers.
listen to Craig. Do it.
Just letting you know.
Lots of walkers, yeah, especially for the 5K and the 10K.
Not bad.
And if you keep a fast pace, you still have to keep your pace, but I'm pretty sure you probably keep the pace.
I think the cow catcher would get me.
The 10K, I believe, is 6 miles.
6.2.
Yeah, that I could do easily.
Yeah.
I
Should
could
do it.
Could do that easily.
And I'd say you walk it probably about 14 miles or 14
It's a 14-minute
14-minute
mile.
14-minute
Yeah,
mile.
that's
All right,
it.
that's a little faster than I currently do. I currently do about a 20-minute mile, but I guess
Oh.
I could push it.
Well, we were running through the parks yesterday then.
Huh?
Never mind.
I don't know what that means.
He was comparing your speed like to what you guys did yesterday.
Yeah, I walk a 14-minute mile, and you were going at my pace yesterday
Yeah.
pretty much the entire day, so I think you walk faster than you know.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm not like really tracking it like crazy. I just kind of estimate from what it takes me to do a 3 mile walk. So I don't know, but maybe I'll do it one day. But yeah, that's a good segue into. I just wanted to mention to everybody that, as I said last week, we are now members of the team are in the parks every day of the week, Monday through Friday. Craig and I are in the Magic Kingdoms this month on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, Tuesday, Jenny Lynn and Rhino are in Epcot,
Which is why he's not here today.
right? Wednesday, Rhino and Steve Porter are at Hollywood Studios.
Yep.
Thursday, you and Kathy are in Animal Kingdom.
Correct.
And then Friday, Craig and Jenny Lynn are at Disney Springs. Mm-hmm. Did I actually get that all right from memory?
Yes, sir.
Wow, I'm good.
You've been taking some memory pills or what?
I don't know what's happening to me. But so if you happen to run into us in the park, if you're in the parks those days, keep an eye out for us and come say hello. We may not stop and say hello back, but you can at least stop and say hello. Of course, no, we love it. We love it when folks had a bunch of folks stop us yesterday. That was nice.
Yep, I'm tall.
Yeah. They tell me how wonderful I am, and they tell Craig how tall he is. So I'm okay with that. You can keep doing that. So, all right, anything else for housekeeping? All right, then we'll throw it over to Johnny with the news.
All right, our first news story. Man arrested at Disney Resort after fight over broken Hello Kitty toothbrush. No, I don't hear any snickering. It's a
Can I
very
just say when I
serious...
first heard this that I thought there was a scuffle like in the hotel room and the toothbrush got broken like in a scuffle?
As a side to the fight. An Australian man was arrested at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge Villas after he demanded compensation for a broken Hello Kitty toothbrush. Oh, I love the picture.
I need to know if it was
Oh my
his.
goodness.
I just, you know what made me feel good about this story is that this kind of abject crazy is not limited to the United States. That people in other countries are also, I got to stop myself from what I was about to say, bat poop crazy. So go ahead.
He locked himself in his room and kept someone else's luggage hostage. The incident occurred early Monday morning, January 4th, 2016. Setia Kernanawan, 49, and his wife Vani Kutunu, 44, were staying at the resort in room 7845. This is important.
Yeah.
That you know his room number. 14 bags of luggage. 14 bags of luggage
Were accidentally delivered.
were inadvertently delivered to them instead of the correct room of 54. That's why that number is important. Hotel staff tried for 2 hours to get the couple to give them the bags back so they could deliver them to the correct room.
No one thought to give him $4. I mean, this could have been solved with a 5-spot.
First of all, who opens their door and accepts 14 bags that are not there?
And the whole thing over is his toothbrush being broken.
Well, hold
Give
on.
him the
Let him finish the
$5.
story. Let him finish the story.
The couple refused to open their door, saying that their Hello Kitty toothbrush had been broken and they wouldn't open the door until receiving compensation for it. The hotel manager did not offer help for the broken toothbrush, so they kept their door locked and refused to turn over the luggage. Hotel staff called the police after a couple became, quote, aggressive and confrontational when she, the hotel manager, contacted them about the mishap. Just after midnight on Monday morning, deputies arrived and knocked on the door for 10 minutes. The couple still refused to open the door, even though deputies said they would be arrested if they didn't turn over their luggage. When Gustamigo finally opened the door, she let them in to see all the luggage still in the room. The police report states that she then, quote, stuck her finger in one of their faces and started yelling. The deputy pushed her hand down and then Kunawanan lunged towards him. The deputy got him on the ground. Gustamigo pulled the hotel manager into the room by her jacket and then hit a hotel security officer in the ear. This is like a movie.
I mean, it must have
In
felt
the
like they
ear?
were living either in a movie or like some sort of bad dream.
Kunawagan was arrested on, quote, charges of battery on a law enforcement officer, grand theft, and resisting an officer without violence. He was then later released from the Orange County Jail on bail. The report states that Gustamigo was released at the hotel to care for their children.
Oh, the kids were present too, which is that's the cherry on the sundae here, folks.
However,
That these people are raising kids.
The moral to the story, the Orlando Sentinel adds that it's unclear if they were ever compensated for the toothbrush.
Well, you have, this has to end in a mystery because we have to have the sequel.
I want to know. I need to know if the Hello Kitty toothbrush sales spiked any the next day.
Okay, tell him.
I did. Okay. So I thought it would be a funny joke if I brought Hello Kitty toothbrushes to the podcast. Could not find one.
Oh my.
So now I know why he's upset.
I do want you
can't
to
buy
know our
this.
search was limited in scope.
Tell them that. Except at one store.
CVS near here doesn't have them.
Okay.
I don't
If it
understand
was
how
a Minnie Mouse toothbrush.
there's a special kind of crazy sometimes that come to Disney parks, and I don't understand because you have to be somewhat successful to afford a Disney vacation, and I don't know how these people succeed in life.
Do you think money and mental health
Yeah,
go
exactly.
hand in hand?
Well, yeah.
You should have met me 7 years
I
ago.
was like, look at our presidential race. I love this. The whole story is so
He's talking
weird.
about Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, well, the whole
Again.
story is so weird with the 14 pieces of luggage.
Yeah.
First of all, when that luggage starts coming to your room, wouldn't a light bulb go off and say, something must be wrong?
Especially if you
Our
had already
luggage
been
had
there.
babies.
I mean, like, it sounds like to me they had already been there, but still accepted the luggage. You know, like I don't understand that part.
So weird.
I keep going back to $5.
Yeah.
Right.
Somebody
how did-
hand them
And
$5.
how did the toothbrush get broken? Did the luggage fall on the toothbrush? Did 14 pieces of luggage
Yeah.
break the toothbrush?
There are so many unanswered
questions.
questions.
This needs to be a
with
Lifetime
this,
movie.
With this, now let me tell you something. I see stuff like this, and it's like manna from the news gods, from the content gods. This story generated over 55,000 page views on the Diz last week. That's how. It just people
crazy.
loved it. Loved this story.
You know, if somebody would have gotten in their car and driven over to the Hello
I'm
Kitty
sorry,
store in
that-
celebration.
That was one day, by the way. That was one day. It generated 55,000 page views, not over the course of a week.
So please,
over
people,
one
come
day.
here, do crazy stuff, because we really need the traffic.
Well, I've been telling the guys I'm at a point where I'm okay with them intentionally doing stuff to make news. So
what
that we can-
Rhino's doing today?
Yeah.
Getting his Power Ranger lunchbox broken or something?
No, he's got his assless Spider-Man pajamas,
Oh, no.
and he's walking through Future World.
Oh, that's awful.
There's a
Rather
visual.
chilly for
There's a
that.
visual from me to you.
Really.
All of a sudden, Epcot's going to be closed for
Thanks for
admitting new people.
Cleaning.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, kids. It's a great story. Such a great story. All right, moving on to our second news story. Industrial Light and Magic rumored to be working on Star Wars themed boat ride. Rumors are coming out that this week's Consumer Electronics Show, CES, in Las Vegas, that Industrial Light and Magic is working with Walt Disney Imagineering on a boat ride that would include a giant projection screen and precision-controlled boats. ILM was a visual effects group created by George Lucas, which Disney now owns due to its purchase of Lucasfilm, leading some to believe that the boat ride could be part of the upcoming Star Wars-themed lands at Disney's Hollywood Studios and Disneyland Park. John Snoddy, Executive Vice President of Imagineering, said that the project that ILM and Imagineering are working on could be, quote, unprecedented in a way. There you go, that's vague. It will be a boat ride where the boats are controlled down to millimeters to precisely align them frame by frame to this ILM giant projection that will be able to determine where people's eyes are to give a sense of depth in 3D. Disney is also working on a boat ride for an Disney is also working on a boat ride for an Avatar-themed land in Disney's Animal Kingdom, but with the ILM connection, a Star Wars-themed project would make sense. Lucasfilm and Walt Disney Imagineering have made no official comment on the project.
It sounds very much like Ratatouille.
But in a boat,
Well,
which seems to me to be much harder.
We rode in a rat. So a boat could be on dry land, but be shaped like a boat.
That's true. Absolutely could be true. But I think that if there's water involved, I think that makes it so much more complicated to align it to a certain position.
Yeah, in reading this and hearing about this, the number of things that could go wrong with this ride, I look at the problems that Universal has with Escape from Gringotts, which is kind of like a roller coaster with a 3D projection, and that thing's going down. That thing's down more than it's up, I think. Great ride, don't get me wrong, it's a great ride, but it has a lot of operational issues. And I hear this and I think, okay, great. I mean, this could be really, really cool. But I also start thinking about, when you're talking about controlling boats, the position of boats to within millimeters, his words, not mine.
I also don't see the connection between Star Wars and boats.
Well, that's
what my brother Kevin said. My brother Kevin said the exact same thing. What does Star Wars have to do with boats?
Yeah, there's three things I think of in this. One, boat rides are really good for Disney because they are capacity hogs. Something that will be very important coming up with Star Wars. Yeah, it's just it eats up so many people an hour, and that would be really good. But two, Star Wars and boats don't really go along with each other. And then three, how many times have we been on Pirates or Small World when you are just stuck like 3 scenes before you actually get off the boat, and you're like almost all the way back to where the town's burning, or just in the heavens scene because they are so slow at unloading. And it just, to me, even though they want to line it up precisely, I don't think they'll ever be able to get it the right way. So,
I agree.
Well, it remains to be seen. It may not even be for Star Wars. This may be for...
Seems like there's a lot of... no, it's not for Avatar.
But it's Industrial Light and Magic, which now that Disney owns them, it makes sense that they would probably want to use them in some regard.
Does Disney own Industrial Light and Magic?
Sure they do. They got it with when they purchased Lucasfilm.
Yep.
They got ILM. So
I didn't know that.
However, ILM has also done effects for every single movie out there, including Avatar. So, I mean, ILM's not specific to Star Wars, but I agree. It all seems very weird that it would be a boat ride.
There's lots of Jar Jar talk in the comments about it being an underwater boat ride.
Now, if they are stupid enough, you want to hear a rant? Let them come out with a Jar Jar Binks boat ride at Star Wars Land, and I will lose my mind.
Let's base it on the worst character ever.
Yeah, the most
ruined a
the
franchise.
Most hated character in the history of the Star Wars canon. Yeah, let's base a ride around that. That would go over well. But that would be funny though. Jar Jar Binks.
They're going to replace Stitch with Jar Jar. Jar Jar's Great Escape.
Oh, God.
All right, our third and final news story. Disney seeks permission from the FAA to use drones. The Walt Disney Company has filed for an exception with the Federal Aviation Administration that would allow them to use drones over their U.S. theme parks. The application, which was filed back in October, mentions safety precautions and planned uses, which would include fireworks. The quote-unquote Flixel machines mentioned in the application include, quote, advanced control and positioning technology, onboard sensors, and advanced wireless communication solutions. The Flixels would weigh less than 10 pounds and would operate over water or restricted areas. The application also cites Disney's history of technological innovation and its safety record. Though not a drone, the fire-breathing dragon that flew over New Fantasyland's grand opening in 2012 gives a hint as to the possible future use of the drone technology. Well, I think everyone has the same fear. What if one of these things fall out of the sky?
It only weighs 10 pounds, but when it drops from 300 feet.
Yeah.
Did you all see the video of the downhill skier? And the drone fell, like literally inches behind him, just missed him. A drone fell out of the sky.
Oh my.
And they said if it had hit him, he would have been killed. And I think to myself, I
think that's why there's a lot of talk in the filing about their safety record.
I understand it's over water,
but
but do you want a free-floating thing shooting fireworks?
Yeah, I don't think they'll have them over guest areas. I don't think they'd have them because they're talking about over water or over restricted areas, which means it's not going to be like guest areas,
Like
I would imagine.
World Showcase Lagoon area, maybe over the water there, they could do it. Because if it falls, then it just falls into the water.
Well, I wonder if it has anything to do with Rivers of Light.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like they would
I
have.
thought when I read it.
Yeah, but that's supposed to be debuting in the next couple months, and I feel like the whole process is going to take a lot longer.
That's true.
The one thing about some higher end drones, they do have like backup functions built into them. So if they lose connection to their controls, they're supposed to just hover and come down gently. But then again, I don't know if those actually are 100% working all the time, and if those ones will eventually just plummet too. But just looking at some of the patent pictures that they released a while back, they could do a lot of really interesting things if they're able to get the FAA to get on board with them.
All right, that looks like Cinderella Castle's on fire. That's what that drawing looks like to me.
that's the after picture after the drones
Yeah,
fall.
these are the drones crashing into the castle and guests screaming in horror.
One word for you people: Terminator. We've all seen the movie. We all know what can happen.
Cyberdyne.
Cyberdyne Systems.
Division of ILM, a division of Disney. All right, that'll do it for the news.
All right, thank you, John. We'll go ahead and move on to Rapid Fire. What do you have for us this week, John?
ABC Family Network is going to become the Freeform network, which feels like a very strange move. Disney's saying they're trying to get rid of the ABC name.
Does that mean they're going to stop wearing underwear?
Oh, I thought they were trying to get rid of the family name, actually, because
Yes.
a lot of their shows are not so family friendly.
That's the second part. The second part is what people are really focusing on the fact that they're getting rid of the family name. And the quote is, where do I have it? Family was deemed unhip for the Disney-owned network. And you think, Disney's about family, right?
What?
Families aren't cool, kids.
There you go. There's your message. So, yeah, I agree,
That's
Julie.
a great tagline
Yeah.
for a network. Because
Kinda
families aren't cool.
I think it's because they're trying to do more adult-ish or tweenish stuff, so they're trying to get away from the family name. But look for ABC Family to become the Freeform network.
All right, thank you, John. Kevin, what do you have?
I have two. The first one is the Lion Guard Adventure to debut at Animal Kingdom. It starts February 7th, and the Lion Guard Adventure allows young guests to become honorary members of the Lion Guard as they explore the park in search of 5 main characters from the popular TV movie. Kion, Bunga, Fuji, Beshti, and Ono.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say them right?
Mm-hmm.
All are missing their Hello Kitty doll. Hello Kitty toothbrush.
These characters are represented as colorful statues that are perfect for kid-sized photo ops. Like the movie, the experience encourages interest in protecting animals and caring for nature. Once they complete the adventure, every child can take a special pledge to become an honorary member of the Lion Guard. Excuse me. They receive a special button. This is going to be there from the beginning of February through late March.
Well, let me just say, guests at Animal Kingdom, be prepared for a lot of roaring, because the Lion Guard is all about the roar. I know, I've seen the movie like 5 times.
And my last one is just really quick. I can't let this podcast go without mentioning that David Bowie passed away this week. David Bowie does have a Disney connection through the Henson Studios. He's worked with them on a movie. And I don't know about the rest of you, but David Bowie was part of my musical life. He's been around since... I've known about him since I was 11. And the fact that he's gone has left John and I kind of sad. I guess you never think about it, and you don't notice it until they're gone. And I'm going to miss him. So,
Me too.
Agreed.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. Jackie.
So we've got some more Run Disney in my rapid fire. With all the recent changes to costume policies at Disney, people were very creative with what they wore this past weekend for the marathon at Walt Disney World. Really cool stuff. Coming up later this week is the Run Disney Star Wars Half Marathon Weekend from January 14th to 17th at the
What
Disney.
is it, like a marathon every weekend now?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. There's a lot of them.
Huge business now. for
So
Disney.
popular.
A lot of people
Yeah.
went. I apologize for getting in the middle of your
That's
rapid
okay.
fire, but a lot of people went from this past marathon on a Disney cruise
Mm-hmm.
to do the Castaway Key 5K or whatever it is out there.
Indeed, yep. Yep. So a lot of my friends are on that cruise, and they're showing their different costumes that have been tailored to run the Castaway Key 5K. Yep. Yeah, it's really cool. So the Star Wars Half Marathon is at the Disneyland Resort in Anaheim from January 14th to the 17th. And Star Wars friends Matt Martin, who manages the digital content and community relations at Lucasfilm, and Cole Horton, who is the Star Wars contributor and author to Star Wars related books, will also be joining the Galactic Weekend. Matt is going to be sporting the popular new droid in the galaxy, BB-8. There's an outfit here that is inspired by New Balance and Champion, and it's really cool. You can see the colors, and any Star Wars fan is going to recognize him. And then Cole will channel his inner R2-D2, who may be a skilled starship mechanic and a fighter pilot's assistant, but he's also known for his great bravery, and you'll recognize his R2-D2 colors there. Now, Disneybound-ing is becoming more of a thing here because of the costume regulations, so you can find lots of information about Disneybound-ing. We've got a great thread on the boards called Disneybound-ing, and we'll have links in the show
Imagine
notes.
that.
Imagine that, yep. Coincidental. And then another one that's not so obvious, but it's a really good one. Disney World outfits, what to wear. Lots and lots of Disney Bound pictures in there. So shout out to Leslie Kay, who created the Disney Bound.
Awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. So those links will be in the show notes.
Great. Thank you, Jackie.
What's
You're welcome.
Disneybound-ing?
Oh, it's the coolest thing
That's
ever.
when you wear clothing, you don't wear a costume, but you wear clothing inspired by a particular character.
Coolest
Like you dress
thing
in all
ever,
green to
Kevin.
be discussed from inside out or something.
Yeah, like one of
Wear
my
with pink
favorites
scarf.
is Snow White. People will wear like yellow jeans and a red shirt with a blue scarf.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
So we should expect that from you next week. Yellow jeans,
I was going to
red
say I
shirt,
could
blue
organize
scarf.
something for you.
Kevin, he's a little bit Mickey today.
Yeah.
A little bit. Not with the navy though.
He's navy blue.
Yeah, he's black.
Yeah, they don't really sell a lot of yellow jeans at the Big and Tall Men shop.
No, but they have things for
Maybe
us that we can do. They have
That was Charles
be
Nelson
very
Riley
simple.
for all of you out there.
black polo, red cap.
You should probably stop thinking about those.
Just get some yellow shoes, Kevin. That'll make it easier.
All right. Thank you, Jackie. Julie, what do you have?
Okay, I have two. Both of mine come from the Orlando Weekly, and one of them is via Craig Williams. He helps me out this week. So, Seinfeld's Soup Nazi is going to be coming to visit some of our local Publix chains to shill soup and maybe yell at us. I'm really excited. I can only hope he's going to
I
be
can
at
yell
my
at you
Publix.
right now if you want.
Yeah, really. If get you that excited, I can
so-
channel it.
So Publix is bringing the Soup Nazi, Larry Thomas, to Kissimmee and several other Publix branches on Thursday, February 4th. He'll be ladling out soups from this original Soup Man company. This is all stemming from some... I can't pronounce this name. I'm going to be like John and be like, Soup Kitchen International. And NYC is where they're coming from. So we don't know exactly where they're going to be yet, like the specific locations, but I'm really hoping the closer it gets to it, they may let us know. I mean, I saw Dr. Oz in my Lake Mary Publix, so I'm hoping they're going to pick Lake Mary.
So when is this now?
February 4th.
Okay.
So we still have a little ways to go, but seriously, Craig, if I hear they're coming to my Publix, You need to come. We're gonna go.
I'm going wherever he's at.
I know.
I mean, Soup
I don't know
Nazi
if I'll-
episode is my favorite.
It is.
I want to do
it
my
is
walk
favorite.
up. I want to see if I do it correctly, if he's gonna yell at me.
Got to order the mulligatawny.
I see. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Please put a shot on Kevin. Please put a camera on Kevin.
So anyway, Craig and I are excited. Maybe not other
Are you
people.
going to wear like special costumes?
No, just
So you're not going to like suit bound?
Soup Nazi bonding.
I love Soup anyway. I love Seinfeld, and that is one of my favorite episodes.
Go.
My other rapid fire has to do with food as well, but this has to do with Mardi Gras. Since it's carnival season, I thought people might like to know where they can get a king cake for themselves. You can get one at Publix, but in my opinion,
This
they're-
is the one with the baby Jesus in the middle you can choke on?
Yes, exactly. It's like a surprise, You never know when you might die.
Publix,
Chip tooth.
Publix does not put the baby inside. They won't even put it in the package. You have to ask for it, and then they will give you your little plastic baby Jesus.
No, because it's called liability.
So anyway,
What
Publix,
What happened to your brother? Oh, he choked on baby Jesus.
that could happen at communion.
But not unless communion wafers are little plastic
They
baby
are dry,
Jesus dolls.
They are dry as crap, though.
And they're not a
Somebody could
surprise
choke.
either. It's not like, oh no, a communion wafer. Ooh, I wasn't expecting that.
It's not like they shoot them with a slingshot.
Oh, that would be really cool. Okay, anyway. So, Publix, I don't like their king
Blasphemy
cakes. They're just
and
really not
Hello
that
Kitty
great.
toothbrushes, one shell.
But if that's all you can get, go ahead. Two Orlando bakers are offering king cakes. One is actually in Lake Mary, and it's called Chez Jacqueline. She takes orders for about $36, and she will do king cake however you
Yeah,
wish.
if you're in Disney, Lake Mary is on the other side of the earth.
Well, hold on. There's also, that's why I said Publix, which that's the crappier king cake, but give it a try. And then Benjamin's French Bakery in Thornton Park is also offering king cakes for $30. This is more of a traditional cake, so it doesn't have the icing and the sugar on it. And this comes with a tiny Virgin Mary instead of a baby.
Oh, so you can choke on the Virgin Mary. So you have your choice. You could either choke on baby Jesus or choke on Virgin Mary.
They don't put them inside. You're responsible for doing it now. It's too much of a liability. But anyway. So I love king cakes, and
So you can take the Virgin Mary, put her into a pastry, and choke on her. Is basically what this tradition apparently is all about.
no.
So
I think,
it must be just like Christmas for you people.
And what happens when you
I
find the
have gone-
baby
we have
Jesus?
gone-
Doesn't that mean you're responsible
yes,
for baking the
responsible
cake?
buying the next cake.
I'm sorry,
for the next
there should be
party.
some sort of miracle involved.
It's a miracle you
It's
survived.
a miracle you don't choke to death.
And you haven't chipped your teeth. And you have to drive to Thornton Park or Lake Mary.
Or Publix. I'm telling you, but Publix is just not as good. Or order one online
Hopefully,
from a
while you're
from a New
doing that,
Orleans
you'll see the
bakery.
soup Nazi.
Yeah, exactly. 2 for 1.
Maybe the soup Nazi will put the Virgin Mary in your king cake. If you ask him nice. If you approach correctly.
He's probably gonna tell me to go.
I'm just trying to do something with this.
Do you know this started out bad?
And it never recovered. All right. Well, thank you, Julie. Craig, are you choking on any religious figures?
I am not. I am choking on just normal food.
That was a ham sandwich, by the way.
You and Mama Cass. Go ahead.
Oh man. Oh wow.
Can we skip to Steve for a second? Steve, go.
I'm sorry. What is it? Too soon?
Too soon. Too soon.
That old story. Never mind. People will write and hate me.
Steve, go ahead.
Okay. New acts bring fresh energy to Lanuba at Cirque du Soleil. The team at Lanuba, the resident Cirque du Soleil show at Disney Springs, introduced 2 new elements to their show. The first is a high-energy trio of breakdancing b-boys. Interesting.
Okay.
Of what?
Breakdancing.
b-boys,
What does that mean?
like hip-hop dancers.
Not as good as the A boys. Second tier hip hop dancers.
And what Disney calls a mesmerizing aerial bamboo act. They haven't released details on what.
Well, they already have the aerial like.
Don't
scarf
say stuff
people.
like that when I'm drinking.
Right. The people that swing on the curtains must be
Yeah.
tired.
They haven't released details on what the aerial bamboo act includes.
I can only imagine that it's painful.
Well, it's in the air and it includes bamboo. So
I don't know. They did say the B-boys have choreographed freestyle solo moments and precise time moves.
I think it's
But are
nice
they doing
added
the
something
aerial
new.
stuff with the bamboo?
No, I think it's 2 separate acts.
No, it's the little Asian girls with the yo-yos that are doing the bamboo act.
They
Not
needed
the
to add
9-year-olds that
something
are
new,
supposed to be
sure.
22?
Take non-growth hormone to keep them 9 forever. They're my favorite part of the show.
How many people are we going to offend in this show today? Oh, God. All right. Well, thank you, Steve.
Yep.
Craig, are you done with your choking on your ham sandwich?
Yes, I am. I am here to talk to you about a Tables in Wonderland event.
I thought he was going to say health insurance.
I could talk to you about that too, but that's not as interesting.
Was that this Field to Feast thing?
Yes, the Field to Feast thing. I'm not putting up the slide for those of you watching on video because I wrote it wrong on there. But on Saturday, February 20th, they are doing the 3rd annual Field to Feast dinner if you're a Tables in Wonderland member. And basically,
What did you write wrong?
it's the 3rd annual, not the 2nd annual.
Oh, I thought maybe you made a really good misspelling.
No. But some of the best chefs from Walt Disney World Resort will be featuring items from their menus, and it's in Mount Dora, Florida, actually, so it's not on property. It's very pricey at $195 per person, but it all benefits the Kids Cafe program of Second Harvest Food Bank of Central Florida, providing a lot of food to
You know what? If you
people
want to
in
help,
need.
if you want to help the food bank, send them $200. Don't drive to Mount Dora.
What happened to Tables in Wonderland? What is going on? First of all, this is the first event in a really long time that they've announced.
Yeah.
And second, this is like so weird. Why aren't they
I thought they
doing
were
the
eating outside. Wasn't it in Delwood or something? I thought I read it.
Yeah,
Mount
it's
Dora, but it's still sort of outside and
In a field?
well, they have fields.
I mean, they used to do that thing where we went to the Great Movie Ride and had dinner.
We went to
there.
the Disney Design Group
Yeah.
Yeah, they would do some cool stuff.
indoors.
I don't know.
There's a miniature lighthouse in Mount Dora.
Ooh.
Wow. Well, now just drop what you're doing.
How miniature? Can I shove it in a cake? I need specifics.
Taller than Craig.
And Craig's tall.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Craig. That'll do it for Rapid Fire. Let's go ahead and talk about the top 5 trip planning threads on disboards.com.
Without using the
December.
word cool.
Oh,
Or bounding.
boy.
Or magic.
Uh-oh. Okay, I'm going to try.
I-
Okay, so the number 5 thread on the Disboards for trip planning in December 2015 was why Christmas?
Was that just a general question?
General question.
Why
on the,
Christmas?
Yep, on the theme parks, attractions, and strategies. Because, all you ever see online is how busy it is and how crazy it is. Just even, I remember the days where the first couple weeks of December weren't so crazy. And now it's the whole month of December is just...
and now January too.
January too. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the marathon
Amazed.
comes out.
I was amazed when we went into the park yesterday, and it was Hollywood Studios was crazy.
And there are hundreds of people walking around with hubcaps around them.
Flavor Flav. Sorry.
Yeah,
That's funny. But it doesn't change the fact that thousands of people flock to Walt Disney World during the holidays. It's amazing. There's nothing like it. I mean, everything is all dressed up in their Christmas best. Everything, it's very fancy, very beautiful. Some of the most gorgeous holiday decorations I've ever seen. So that thread is really fun. There's a lot of people that are saying why they go year after year. It's really a good thread. In the number 4 slot, talk to me about afternoon breaks, yes or no. Why and how long? That one was started by me, Grumpy, on the theme parks.
Think
Be
sounds
grumpy
like needs a
news and
break.
Theme parks attractions and strategies forum. I always recommend that if people are going to the parks with little kids, that they take a break in the middle of the day. Because now, if you're a late park goer, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, you don't really need a break in the middle of the day. But if you're one of those people who likes to be at rope drop, you're going to need to go back to the resort and take a break. So it's not about, at least when our kids were little, it's not really about how long can you stay in the parks for one day. If you want to see the nighttime entertainment, you gotta go take a nap. So lots of people weighing in on that thread.
Can I plug myself on that? I
Please.
actually have 4 articles
Do
that
what to yourself?
Anyways,
This episode has been cranking and plugging.
Yep.
I have 4 articles that have to do with where to take breaks. So, fun fact: each park has an article. So,
We'll put those in the show notes, huh?
She looked at Pete.
Really good.
She's looking at me. I don't do the show notes.
I
Why are you still on me?
You should only take breaks at your hotel. I'll just make it simple. There you go.
Okay. Not allowed to take breaks anywhere else. Sorry, folks.
Oh, you
Short
wrote that,
articles there, Steve.
you wrote that article
Sorry for you. In the number 3 spot is on our Aulani, a Disney Resort and Spa forum.
Which now has a new symbol.
It sure does. You
So excited about
folks
that.
will be very happy to know that you will easily find our Aulani forum with the little
Okay,
blue
if
and
you
white
don't move
symbol.
on from the symbol,
Yes. It's very
I'm so
easy to spot.
over the Alani, because there was like a 30-minute conversation before the show about this new Alani symbol, and you would have thought somebody just handed her the winning Powerball ticket.
I really want to win.
Me too.
Yeah, really.
That makes all of us.
I mean,
Once
it
we
doesn't
use the
make
word
much.
billion, I'm in. I really want to win.
Yeah.
I'm no longer judgmental.
So it doesn't take much to make me happy. What can I say? So, what's the one thing you wish you knew? Started by Disney Dreams on the lovely Aulani forum. This is a really, really good thread for those of you that have never been to Aulani before and you're thinking about going. Lots of folks that have already been there are saying what they wish they would have known before they went.
Like
so,
the spa tubs are outdoors, so you can't be naked.
Yeah. If you're in the, yeah.
Like if you want to take one of those
Jacuzzi.
baths. I mean, it was very nice, but I had to wear my swimsuit. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
all right,
It's not a bath.
there you go. All right, so
I'll just stop the conversation, Dad.
I haven't
Now
been
are
there,
people
so
on
I
the
don't know that part.
Ethernet looking,
That's
waiting
perfect.
to see
Yeah.
Julie naked in the hot tub.
Well, and that's something you should know because if you see it in photos or whatever, you know, you're thinking, oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Bring your swimsuit. All right. In the number 2 spot on the community board, at what age do you stop taking your adult child on vacation? Started by
Never?
Beck 1. Well, you know, we were having a
He was like,
conversation.
yeah, never.
Never, yeah. So this has me really thinking because our oldest just turned 18. And, you know, when do you start teaching your kid that they need to maybe pitch in monetarily, you know, for vacation? Or when do you just
6.
yeah, that'd be good. Get a job. Really interesting looks on this though, on this thread, because it's goes from
Someday
one
your
spectrum to the
18-year-old is going to take you on vacation.
other. Yeah, I hope so.
Be prepared for that.
That would be good. I'd like him to do that. But you know, it's something to really consider because family
that's a good
vacations. Yeah, I mean, you know, do you keep taking them? Do you worry about college and jobs, and do you plan them around their vacations, or do you just go and let them kind of fend for themselves? I mean, when do you draw that line? So really good conversation going there. And let's see, the last thread for the most popular trip planning thread for December was all about the marathon weekend. This one was started by Hockey Chick on our Run Disney Events and Competition forum. Now, this forum is on our WISH. It's WISH, stands for We're Inspired to Stay Healthy. For those of you that can't find the Run Disney sub-forum there. And people are still talking about the marathon over the weekend. Some people are still at Walt Disney World. So that's a
A
real
lot of
great
people
thread.
are still at Walt Disney. Like I said, Craig and I were in
Yeah.
the Magic Kingdom yesterday, and you know, I realize in general crowds are higher now than they used to be, but the park was pretty much packed. It was a Monday
Disney Studios was packed
in
yesterday.
January, and okay, let me also say, I love Christmas. I love Christmas. I love celebrating Christmas. I love the whole Christmas season. Love everything about Christmas. Really got into it this year too. Had a great Christmas this year. But it's January 12th. Take down your Christmas decorations already. I go on, you know, you go onto Main Street and you see all the Christmas decorations still there, and you're like, okay, the moment's passed, time to let go. I don't get it.
Especially when Halloween is gone so quickly and Christmas comes.
Oh, yeah.
So they do that turnover so quickly.
Disney has succeeded in turning the slowest month out that they typically have into one of their busiest months.
Okay, but here's the
Run
thing.
Disney. But
Do you want to stare? Do you really? Do you want to be looking at your Christmas decorations in the middle of January?
Here's the deal. I don't personally, and as a matter of fact, we kind of made a joke saying that at least we were further ahead in getting ours down than Disney was when we went to the park. But I think that people who are going for the marathon look at this as a way of enjoying Christmas at Disney past not traveling at Christmas. I just think that Disney succeeded in bringing people in January now, which was their slowest month ever. I don't agree with it. I think it's, take that stuff down and move on, but...
Yeah, it just feels like, the guy who doesn't want to leave the party. He's like the sad guy who doesn't want to leave the party.
And then I think what was even weirder was that they had Christmas carols still playing.
Yes, Christmas music was still playing.
Yeah, that was weird.
And it just is like, oh, come on.
They're catering to the runners that have extended their vacations.
I don't know. Maybe. Could be.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, thank you, Jackie, for that list.
Actually, apparently Christmas decorations are coming down today, according to some commenters.
Oh, well, hallelujah. About time. I'd like to take a picture down Main Street and not have a Christmas tree in it. But all right. Well, anyway, thank you, Jackie. Before we wrap up our show, we do have a dining review for you. Last night, John, Kevin, Craig, and myself went over to Hollywood Studios.
3 gays and a Craig.
3 gays and a Craig.
segment.
Or 3.5 men. Oh, wow.
But he's tall. Oh, if you didn't listen to the last part, Craig's tall.
And we checked out Minnie's Silver Screen Dine at the Hollywood and Vine restaurant, and I use that word lightly, at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Now, this is, this is always a buffet restaurant, and they do various themes throughout the year, and I guess because it's now award season, they're doing this. So, I'm going to let Kevin take the lead.
It's a buffet where Swanson cooked your food. It's like they made Hungry Man dinners for everybody. I think it's a stretch of a theme. They had extra costumes laying around. I mean, Goofy looked like he was going to Studio 54. Daisy looked like a faded silent movie star. Mickey looked like he was dressed as the Rat Pack, which I thought was really funny. Mickey didn't seem amused by the fact that I thought he was part of the Rat Pack. He kind of hit me in the head with his ear and pushed me out of the way.
Ooh, just like Sinatra.
Exactly. I didn't find the food horrific. I found there were things that were edible. They had a good seafood bisque that I thought was good. They had some roasted beets, which I thought were terrific.
Okay, that says a lot.
We're picking and choosing.
No, I'll tell you. The carved turkey was out of this world. It was excellent. I thought that was really good. I also thought the bacon wrapped pork was quite
out
good.
of this world. I
thought the turkey was very good.
That's different than out of this world. I mean, I would consider it edible and okay. I ate some of it. It was good.
I thought it was very juicy.
My piece wasn't.
No, mine was very juicy, very flavorful.
I think everything was, in my opinion, was very hit or miss.
Yeah.
We talked about the fact that they had the seafood bisque, which I thought was incredible. I tried the pork. I didn't think the pork was very good, but I tried the steak, and I thought the steak was very good. So it was very hit or miss along the way. I think what really is weird about this is it's such a strange theme that all of a sudden that they've tried to do this, overlay of the award season.
Well, what I'm noticing, and I don't eat at this restaurant ever, so I don't know what its dinner buffet is normally. But when we did the Star Wars one version of this, I guess back in May or June, I'm pretty sure it was the same menu, the same food. And here's the thing, is that some of it's good, some of it is atrocious. None of it is really is prepared with any kind of flair or any kind of
care or finesse.
None
right.
at all.
I also think it's an odd theme. First of all, we are not their target audience. 4 adult men are not the target audience for this. However,
given how empty the restaurant was, I don't think they have much of a target audience right now.
We were sitting next to a little 3-year-old girl named Olivia, who I found charming.
Yes.
Olivia was over the moon when these people, the characters, would come over to talk to her. Oh. And I think to myself, that's who this is for. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure Olivia understands award season.
Well, but I get that, and I'm fully on board with character meals are aimed at kids.
Yes, but having this be award season tells me that they're aiming this towards adults.
Well, because the adults are the ones that are making the decision. But, and I've heard the argument, and I understand that, people say we don't really go to these character meals for the food. We go because our kids love the characters. And I absolutely understand that. And I support the idea that you would pay a premium to have that experience. However, at $50 an adult, at $50 a plate, basically, you have a right to expect better than average food from the buffet.
I would not even call this average.
But you know what? Before we go any further, I know Craig has a video queued up that he shot last night, so we're going to let him run that before I forget. So here's a video from our experience last night. All right, so that's a little overview of our experience. I particularly enjoyed the shot he got of me trying to get butter out of that container. It was like frozen solid.
That was the first experience, and we went up and I thought, is this ice cream? What is this?
It looks like ice cream.
And he's literally chipping away at butter.
That is one of my biggest pet peeves at a restaurant is when they bring butter to your table that
frozen.
You cannot even spread.
I want to talk just for a minute. I need to talk about the theme again because I know we've sort of all said it's very weird. It's very weird. Not only were the characters, I didn't think there was an overall dress theme for this type of event, but also there was a lot of weirdness going on in general. First of all, the music selections were all over the place. At one point, they were playing RuPaul.
Yes, they were.
What? Work? Cover girl?
You better work.
You better work. Mm-hmm. Then in the middle of
and
this
RuPaul is appropriate for an event aimed at children.
And then in the middle of, did you guys notice in the middle the guy talking over? I don't know if it was a person or if it was a soundtrack, talking over the soundtrack saying, okay, if you're having a birthday, stand up. Now let's all clap for those having a birthday. It was all so very bizarre, all sort of thrown together.
One
slapdash.
30-year-old man eating by himself stood up.
I'm 50, thank you.
See, sorry.
Go ahead.
I would completely 100% agree with the background music and everything that was happening in there. It had to be a soundtrack because I don't think any sane person would be able to do that live every night where they stop the music every 20 minutes and he comes on and does a DJ spiel and then they start playing My Heart Will Go On in there, and it was very bizarre.
Big Valley.
Yeah. However, for the characters in their costumes, although they were strange, I loved them. I have enough pictures of Mickey just wearing his normal getup that it's nice to have these experiences where you do get a little bit of a different costume.
And
with
speaking of the characters, generally speaking, I will say I thought these characters, in terms of their interaction, the time they spent, were a bit better than I've seen at some other character meals. Then again, as I mentioned last night, I think Disney World should send all the characters out to Disneyland to learn how it's done, because the characters out at Disneyland, the interaction, the time they spend with you, ridiculous. It's like night and day. But that being said, by Disney World standards, I thought the characters were pretty good.
Yeah, it's important. Sorry.
I also want to say, too, the characters really tried with us. And usually when we go to dinner and there's adults sitting at a table, the characters kind of give a little, okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of attention and move on. They really tried with us and tried to engage us. So I give them credit for that. The other weird thing was apparently the staff, the wait staff, were given celebrity names, and our waiter was Bing. So Bing, you expected a certain persona to show up when Bing showed up. He was a very slender Asian gentleman. And we all went, what?
Yeah.
While I was standing up front, I also heard a supervisor say to a cast member, I'm going to move you off this shift. Now, this wasn't I don't want to say crowded. This wasn't a crowded place, but there were people around. And the supervisor said to the young lady, where would you like to go work? And she said, any place there's not people.
Oh.
And I thought, And, you just think, well, great. That's awesome. That's not something a guest should hear. If they were going to do this theme, Disney has the wherewithal to turn this into an actual theme.
I think that's my problem. My problem is we all know Disney is about storytelling and Disney's about making it an experience, and this didn't feel like it was
a couple of those big Klieg lights out front, and then they have them. Costumes that were a little more...
These costumes were a little ratty. That was the thing that was surprising
Somebody
me.
went through Costume Warehouse and went, this one will work, this one will work.
Yeah.
This was... I just think... I don't...
Again,
no one expected the food to be good.
It looked to me like a cheap excuse to theme a buffet.
Right.
Also, these characters aren't they aren't supposed to sign. So whenever you walk in the door, they give you a card that already has all the characters' signatures on it. I did watch at a couple tables. They were still autographing some books, specifically the ones where you can put your picture right next to it, so that way you can have that little extra memory. But
and I'm sorry, if you've paid $50 a plate for dinner, they should sign your book.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
See, I like Minnie's dress. I think it's adorable. And I look at how cute she is. I mean, she's just as cute as can be with that pink. And I love how she spun around for you guys.
However, it doesn't really go with the theme of award season that we're at an award show.
She should have on a gown.
Do you have a picture of Donald?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but Minnie looks like she's getting ready to do the floors.
Oh, I thought she looked more like a sock hop.
There's Donald.
See, Donald, I don't understand.
Donald looked like St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, this is more green than in the picture shows.
Okay.
So, it was all very strange. And again, I think our general idea of walking away was the food wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. And there was points that were actually kind of good. So we didn't feel like, this is a total waste.
And I would say that the target audience for this didn't notice that their costumes weren't great.
Yeah.
Didn't notice that there wasn't really a theme. They were all absolutely delighted to see these people. This is for grown adults sort of judging this without a child there. I watched the little girl next to us, and I don't know that she cared that any of them even had on
And
costumes.
the kids' menu was actually
I'm looking at
pretty
it.
solid. There was steamed broccoli, which might not be great for all kids, but then tater tots, chicken tenders, mini corn dogs, macaroni and cheese, pasta, chicken. I was close to just starting to pick off.
It's
that
a
Evan
better-
just looked at me like there were corn dogs.
It's a better selection than some of your other buffets for kids, I have to say. I've never seen broccoli in the kids area. Both of my kids love broccoli.
They had little what they called marble potatoes, which were little tiny boiled potatoes with a little butter on them.
Mm-hmm.
And there was stuff on the regular buffet I think kids would enjoy too. They had carrots that were cooked in a way that I think children would enjoy them. So I don't think it would.
They
I
keep
think-
showing that chocolate fountain.
Yeah, that's a
just want
total
you to know-
ripoff. I'm so mad at the chocolate fountain.
What happened?
Well, because I can't get to it.
Guests were not allowed to. Guests were not
behind
allowed near the chocolate fountain.
Plexiglass, and I kept trying to reach, and she wouldn't let me get to it. And I thought that's just wrong.
that is wrong. That's half the fun. Is
$50, give me a cup
your
and let me near that
skewer
chocolate fountain.
I think the kids in the room loved this.
Yeah.
I think if you've got kids and you're looking for character interaction and you don't want to wait in line to meet Mickey, this is a great way to do it.
I just think for
I
the
s-
price, Disney needs to lower the price on this. This is ridiculous.
I think they either need to lower the price or they need to up their game in the kind of food and the quality of the food that they're serving. There were some items on there. I mean, those barbecue meatballs were disgusting. The whatchamacallit, the sweet potato casserole was horrible.
I think the food at Chef Mickey's is several steps up.
Oh, no question.
And I think it's in the same price range. So I've said this for years. If you can do it there, why can't you do it here?
Well, and especially given that Hollywood and Vine has such a terrible reputation for their food. Not just here. It's not just us saying this. A lot of people have said Hollywood and Vine just isn't good food, regardless of what crappy theme they slap on top of it. So it doesn't matter. And why hasn't it changed?
Well, one of the reasons
Why
why
hasn't it been
changed
fixed?
is because this is part of the Fantasmic dinner package. So people are going to dinner here so that they are guaranteed the seats at Fantasmic, the show. So that's part of it. They don't have to change. They've got
Our
a captive
reservation
audience.
did not include, we did not have a Fantasmic package.
Just crazy. But like John and Kevin said, the food wasn't awful. There was some really good stuff, some very not so good stuff. I give the characters higher marks just in terms of their time and interaction. Might want to consider updating the wardrobe a little bit, but $50 a person for
That's after
adults.
Tables in Wonderland.
That's it's $49.95 for adults, and was it $34.95 for kids or $39.95 for
I
kids?
thought it was 30. I thought it was 36 for kids.
$36.95.
$35.99. After Tables in Wonderland, the four of us, it came to $191 with the built-in tip.
so that's what it would be for my family, and that's a lot of money.
Because your
And-
kids are old enough to all be charged as
are.
an adult.
Yep.
Don't bring the 18-year-old. This is the line.
That's the line.
So, I mean, overall for me, I give it a 6
Out of what?
out of 10.
Out of 100, I gave it a 5.
And it gets a 6 for me because of the characters.
Kevin?
He's adding.
The only redeeming feature, I think. Otherwise, everything I ate, you could have made out of the freezer section at Publix.
Number, please.
I will give the characters a 5. That's it. I don't see a reason to go here other than you want your kids to meet the characters and you want to sit down while you do it.
Or
and you
you're
don't
in
want to
that
wait long.
park.
Or you're in that park. It's a great way for your kids to see Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy. Daisy's kind of a
Daisy's a hard one
wild
to say,
card
yeah.
too. She's hard to find.
Yeah.
And Goofy. And as Pete said, they were there. They were everywhere. They were around several times, and they were quite willing to be silly with 4 adults. So they were really good with kids. And all I keep talking about is this little girl who sat next to me, and I kept thinking, she does not care that the meatballs were bad. She does not care that the fried shrimp were frozen TV dinner fried shrimp.
She probably barely ate. She was so excited.
That's right. And that's part of the fun when you're grown-ups. Part of that, bringing that magic back into your own world is watching those little ones and seeing it through their eyes. I think that's fun.
She kept asking where Sophia was, and I assume Sophia is part of the Disney Kids program or something. I don't have kids that age, so I don't know who she was. But I think to myself, if you're looking to fill this and you're looking to fill it with kids, why is she not one of the people that are there? Or there was a little boy I heard, is Jake going to be here?
You have to meet them over by Disney.
For $50 a plate, you
Live.
should be able to bring
Yeah.
them. They should be there also.
I think they were weren't they the last character dining
Yeah.
that was
They-
there though?
Breakfast
Yeah.
and lunch.
Yeah, with Dr. Feelgood or Dr.
Yeah.
Doc McStuffins.
Doc
McStuffins.
McStuffins.
But these kids are not the same kids who were there at the last promotion. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right.
So I don't think.
Doctor Feelgood.
Oh
I
boy.
can't remember the name.
That's the song.
Here's the deal.
That's a different
we
theme
walked
park.
in knowing what we were expecting. I said to John, it's hard to get excited about going to dinner when you go in knowing this is probably not going to be great.
You should have brought Finley. You probably would have had a blast.
Probably.
I probably would have. I would have had a much better time.
You know, that might be something to consider in the future. Let's see if we can rent a kid.
Yeah, I mean, look, all this has to be taken in the context that we were there with our children, and I think if I had been there with my great nephew Robbie or my great niece Victoria, I probably would have had a different experience. I still would have been pissed about the quality of the food. I don't think it's necessary that you have to jettison any sense of entitlement to a quality meal because you're trying to give your children an experience. I don't think those things need to be mutually exclusive.
I said the same thing about
at this
Wilderness
restaurant,
Cafe.
apparently at this restaurant,
Whispering Cafe? Whispering Wind?
Disney feels that they do need to be mutually exclusive, and that history continues with Minnie's Silver Screen Dine.
Before we finish up, I understand it's a thread on the board, but somebody actually asked me to my face. I didn't know this was a thread, but I thought it was a really fascinating question. Would you eat at the California Grill if it wasn't for the windows and the view?
Absolutely, the food's fantastic.
Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of California Grill. I hardly ever enjoy my meal when I go there.
Really? Wow, I always do.
I would never go to California Grill if it wasn't for the view and the view
No,
of the Magic Kingdom.
I have to entirely disagree with that. I think the food is fantastic.
What do you think?
I would not go if it wasn't for the view and the windows. However, I do like their sushi.
However, I think
So you think the food at California Grill isn't good?
No, I think the food at California Grill is wildly overpriced. And I would not go there I don't think it's special enough to go there if I didn't have that wraparound view. So no, I think, what do you think? You said no. What would you do?
The time I ate there, the food was fantastic, and I would go there. I know that it's a very expensive meal going in, so I would go there.
What about you guys?
I've never been, so I don't know.
I've only eaten at California Grill actually sitting down in the restaurant twice. I love the bar up there, and with the bar, I can have
answer
a
the
couple.
question.
Well, no, I can have a couple cocktails and some.
Would you go if it
appetizers.
didn't have a view?
Yeah, because I go up to the bar. I would go to a bar anywhere if they have, and I mean that's just a style. A full meal, no, but appetizers.
Well, if it
different.
was just a room without windows, you couldn't find those same drinks elsewhere at half price?
Price.
on property, no.
Okay.
Off
I don't
property,
know.
yeah.
I absolutely would. I think the food is phenomenal. I've eaten there 4 times in the last year, and I've had phenomenal meals each time. And, there's something that's inspired. There's something that does have quality and creativity and investment by a real chef
Yeah.
that isn't pumping out crap. And I will pay for that. I will pay for that kind of culinary experience. The view is great, and I love the view. And yeah, that probably does bump the price up a bit, but I still think the food is outstanding.
What was the consensus on the
California.
board? Was it yes or no?
Most of the folks that posted said there's no way they'd go there if it wasn't for the view. And I was really shocked.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked to hear that as well.
I mean, I would, if I was given the choice between California Grill and Narcoossee's, I prefer Narcoossee's. That's my very, very, very favorite.
See, and I haven't had a
Love
good
it.
meal there.
I would
Isn't
go
that
to,
something?
I would go
See?
to Narcoossee's in a heartbeat
I
over
have not
California
had
It's
it.
Grill.
my favorite.
3 times, haven't had a good meal there yet.
Oh, my word.
And so I stopped going.
That's shocking.
I stopped going.
We've been there a number of times. And in fact, we had Christmas dinner there. Love it so much.
I thought that was an interesting,
that is
conversation.
interesting.
Yeah. And I'm shocked that most of the people said nope. Just shocked.
All right, well,
Oh, well.
There it is.
Yep.
That's our discussion for today, folks. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back with you again next week with another edition of the Diz Unplugged. Thanks for being with us, everyone. And remember, go to Disneyland and stay out of the damn lakes, because I said so.